And this goes back to having a strong culture again. I'm really advocating, creating a really strong team culture within your startup, because without that, my team would have left a long time ago.
Welcome to Hustleshare, the podcast that features the daily grinds of unique hustlers around the world to show not our differences, but that our hustles are very much alike. Now here's your host, Ronster Bae-pyong.
Welcome to episode 8 of the Hustleshare podcast. My name is Ronster, and I'm your host. And in this episode, we're going to be having quite a bit of fun because we're going to be talking about fashion a lot. But before that, let's just take a quick roundup of what this podcast is about. Hustleshare is a podcast that lets you improve your hustle by listening to other hustlers. So if this is your first time, welcome. Just appreciate you guys being here. So just to give you a heads up, right? This is not this is an NSFW kind of podcast. So if you expect that this is going to be all fine and dandy if you're playing this loud in your office, especially if there's kids around, I'm giving you a heads up that there's going to be a lot of flying F-bombs, a lot of cuss words, because this podcast is all about keeping it real. So if you're not comfortable with that, you may turn off the dial now and go to more safe for work podcast. But if you do, then let's go. So this episode, we're going to be featuring a very interesting individual. Her name is Abbie Victorino, right? She's the founder and CEO of StyleGenie.ph. Her story is very interesting because she used to be, or her hustle used to be, a fashion model. And then today, in this episode, we're going to be talking about how he transitioned from being a struggling fashion model to losing her job all the way to like venturing into something totally different than fashion, which is e-commerce. And then how she put up Style Genie as her startup. The beauty about this episode also is we're going to be talking about this very good movement that a lot of women, that's what I've mentioned in the past episodes, we're going to be featuring a lot of women hustlers out there, and Abbie is a big advocate of the girl boss movement, so we're also going to be talking about that and the struggles. So if you're down for that, let's begin the episode right now. Welcome to episode 8 of Hustleshare, and again, as promised, we're going to be featuring a lot of women hustlers out there. And today we're going to be talking to one female hustler that I've known for a while. Yeah, we're actually batchmates.
Come on,
yes.
Go to Mashins.
Roast. Her name is Abbie Mendoza or Abbie Victorino? Because that's very confusing.
Okay, my full name is Abigail Joyce Victorino Mendoza.
Okay.
I did not get married.
Okay.
My middle name is Victor, but I use Victorino because wala lang.
Okay,
There's
cool.
not a lot of Victorinos out there.
Yes. Mendoza is more common out
Yeah.
there. Correct, but it's weird. Just like, there's a span that like I didn't get to engage with you for a while during the grind, like the Valley of Death for me. And then I was like, I saw it like Abbie. Is that Abbie Mendoza? It's like, yeah, it's the same girl. Okay, perfect. So Abbie, welcome to the show.
Welcome to me.
There you go.
Thank you for having me, Ron.
No, it's been a pleasure. And then you're one of those people that I've been very, very interested to put here because your journey has been very unique as well, right? So again, you've heard some of the episodes, and now it's you on the spot. So Abbie, what's your hustle?
My hustle. So I'm the founder and CEO of Style Genie. That's basically my full-time job. I also have another startup, which is Curated Crates. But
you have two now.
I have two now, but that's where my co-founder comes in, and my best friend comes in.
Okay.
And then aside from that, I'm also an e-commerce consultant for like traditional enterprises.
Right.
So I help them sort of jump into the digital
And if they're
transformation.
not here yet, they're
Yes.
too late.
And on the side, I also do some workshops about online businesses.
You're a teacher as well.
I did last year. I did the full year last year. I was an e-commerce professor at Assumption College.
Wow. There is a subject called e-commerce in a
It was an elective, so that's the sad thing. It's just an elective, and they're lucky enough that the dean was actually interested to
Nice.
inject some courses about e-commerce and digital marketing. So I did that for a year, but now I need to really focus on Style Genie. So
all in. Just like
All
what
in.
just like what Monica said in the episode before this, that all in or nothing.
yes,
There. Okay, so Abbie, for Style Genie, what does Style Genie do? What's the problem that you guys are trying to solve?
Yes. So I think it really came from a personal problem of mine.
Okay.
I'm not really a stylish person per se. I don't think
No.
myself as a
Really?
stylish.
No.
Oh, well, thanks to Style Genie now.
Okay.
But way back and until today, I guess it's a common problem among women, most importantly for women, because every morning you wake up, you're in a good mood, you shower, you're singing in the shower, and then you go out of the shower, and then you open your closet, and there's a lot of clothes, but you're like, I have
It's a
nothing to wear.
$1 million question. What? Yes.
Right?
My
So
girlfriend, my God.
exactly, it's like there's a lot of clothes in front of you. There's also a lot of options on e-commerce now, marketplaces, etc. There's a lot of brands coming in offline to
Yep.
the malls, but you're still like, what am I gonna wear? What style suits me? And there's a common, people believe that the stylists are just for celebrities and corporate. VIPs, etc. So we want to break that, and we want to offer styling to normal people like us, because we
On
need to
demand.
be stylish too.
Yes, and I agree. And just a little story on the side. My girlfriend is also a stylist.
Oh, cool!
Yes,
We
she-
should hire her.
No,
Like
okay.
part-time.
Here's the thing. Since we came into a relationship, my queen, I had to step up my style game. I didn't care what I was wearing before. Now I gotta that shit's gotta match and all that.
Yeah.
So she styled before in magazines and whatnot. She joined this this contest in Alabang Town Center, the one that Jeff Galang also won. The year before, she was the winner.
Wow.
And then she did that full time and whatnot. And then when we came to a relationship, I got sort of exposed to that. So now I know how difficult it is from a stylist point of view to do one thing that's very, very tedious and fucking frustrating. Motherfucking pull-outs.
Super.
So I'm the guy walking through store to store to store to pull out all these stuff so that people or the talent or whoever, whether it's a magazine, for a photo shoot and whatnot,
Yes.
you'll do that. So styling, since I met her, I understand how important it is. And that's a problem that you're trying to enable people to have now. Nice.
Yes, so that's our goal, really, to make every customer feel good about themselves, with starting from the way they look, the way they dress, and
that's true, because if there's something that's the easiest to augment in terms of your look is how you should dress up.
Yeah.
Before I didn't realize that the fit of my clothes actually
it affects
matter.
you.
Correct.
Yeah, so there's actually a study about it. Yun nga, the clothes that you wear, the options of clothing that you choose to wear on a daily basis really affects your mood and your health, even
your confidence,
and your overall confidence. So, and tell me if I'm wrong. Like, you dress up in the morning, you chose to wear, hindi mo na inisip. You like put that on, and then it's not too fit, or you don't really like it, but you have no choice.
True.
So you wear it, but it affects you on the whole day.
Correct.
Right?
And then the mood, the confidence level, and then you look at, especially if it's an event that people dress up for.
Exactly.
Like,
or you're going to a pitch,
Right.
or you're going to present your business to someone, right? When you're not that confident, then medyo meh.
No, correct.
Right.
Or you have to really dig deep and like, all right, I got. It's like this Pursuit of Happiness. Like, remember that scene where he had paint all over. And they're asking him, right, why should we hire you if you had paint all over your body and whatnot?
Yes.
So yeah, something like that. Okay. Now, Abbie, in terms of Style Genie, how does that work? So, okay, you're trying to get people to be stylish, okay? How do you solve that problem really? Like, do people just go to you and like, hey, I don't need to be styled, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we're bringing the real traditional way of hiring a stylist. So we're all digital. You wouldn't really need to, interact with the person because when you go to when you go to shops, for example, you don't want ate around, following you around.
No.
What do you need? Right? And niyo ba? So what we do is we built a website where you just go. It's stylegenie.ph.
Stylegenie.ph.
Yes, and then you answer a quick quiz. We call it a style profile.
Okay.
So you create it in under like 3 minutes. Depends on how well you know your sizing.
So it's
and
like a KYC.
It's like a KYC, but it's all about you, like your
Okay.
height, your skin tone, your occupation.
Wow, even skin tone, right.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions, and the questions that we have now in the form are pretty much iterated according to what the stylist just need. No,
Right.
walang masyadong no other unnecessary questions.
Sure.
And then after that, you choose a budget.
Which is very important because I'll be like,
Yep.
all right, I like this, but I can only afford this much.
Yeah.
Right?
So you choose a budget, and then that's it. Our stylist will work on that budget
Nice.
and then deliver it within 3 days to your doorstep.
3 days.
3 days.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Before it, of course, when we started, it wasn't 3 days because we
course.
didn't have that
Right.
much. Yung sabi nga nila, pull-outs.
Sure.
We didn't have a lot of brands when we started, but now that we have partnered with more brands, then we can do on demand like 3 days. Not yet next day, but 3 days, maybe soon
Hey,
next
3 days,
day.
that's enough. But because people prepare ahead of time anyway.
Yeah.
Like I remember my queen. That she was always like, hey, she's like more before her.
Yeah.
I call my shit outfits, and now she calls it a look. I'm like, okay, what is a look?
Look.
Like, so this is the whole thing, even all the way down to the details of accessories, and whatnot, right?
Correct,
like, I like your like everything, even the way she does her stuff. She's also a girl boss like you, so if during weekends I'm just her assistant.
Yeah, I met her once in Kubo.
Yes.
Right, your queen.
Yeah, the queen. That's love of my life. I love you. she's also a
Happy
big fan.
Women's Month to her.
Yes,
And to
and again-
everyone listening.
Absolutely. All right, before we get too carried away with my love life and my queen. So, Abbie, since you launched this, let's backtrack a bit of how you started because again, like I mentioned earlier in the earlier today, like you are my batchmate, right?
Yes.
And from what I know, how I know you, I always go to your office because you're part of the student council in UST.
Yes.
Right. How did that happen? How did your journey from being from school all the way through, or at least walk back if you want to ride the time machine. We have a Hustleshare time machine. How did your love for fashion evolve to where it is now? Let's start with that.
Right. So college, right? So I was majoring marketing.
Yep.
But then even then, I remember my first ever business was in Multiply pa. I was selling, I was doing crochet lanyards. I'm not sure if you've seen those in UST. But I do crochet. That's my hobby because I'm a...
Tita already.
I'm a tita by nature. But no, I have a really strict mom.
Okay.
So I didn't have any social life there aside from student council. I was just really school, UST, bahay, UST.
Really?
And go home straight. And then my hobby was crochet. And I do those little...
I'm sorry, I'm not judging, but I have never...
No, it's very tita. You won't even picture me doing that, right?
Chilio,
But
that shit.
That's real. So that was my first ever business. And I sold it on Multiply.
Okay.
But I realized my buyers then were from FEU, from UST CFAT, all the way to the other buildings in UST. So I was like, wow, that's eCommerce for us before, right? But then after that, because I was in the marketing major, I worked for an advertising agency for a year, and I also
you were doing modeling. I remember.
I also modeled.
There you
so
go.
I'm also a breadwinner.
Okay.
So because my mom and dad are separated, so early on,
I know
yeah.
the feeling, bro. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
so I'm a breadwinner, and then early on, I knew that if I want to get something and if I want to help the family, I
earn
should
it.
learn how to earn, right?
Yep.
So I did modeling. That was also by accident.
Okay.
Someone just
Yeah,
David
Salon,
discover.
was it, right? I think that was David Salon.
Before, yeah, but before that, you know what I did? I
Okay.
did some modeling. I was a hand model.
Oh!
Yeah,
Shit.
I was a hand
Okay.
model, and then I became a hair model for
Right.
David Salon, Davines.
Let's talk about that hustle. How do you even it's not nothing's really a total accident per se. You know, you bump into them and there's opportunities because majority
Yeah.
of the time, right? Opportunities
Yeah.
comes in it looks like work, but
Yeah.
they don't realize that fuck, this is an opportunity. And that's
Yeah.
why people don't take advantage of it too much, right? But for you, how did you seek out the opportunities and took advantage of them?
Well, so I remember it was first from my cousin was a young boy. I think
Young-
7-year-old talent for
Okay.
a commercial. It's for
Oh.
ABS-CBN. Can I say that? For ABS-CBN.
Yeah, go. Like, nobody's paying. Like we don't have networks here.
Pera nila tayo. It was for ABS-CBN Station ID. And then I just
Oh.
accompanied him and my tita kasi nga kawawa naman. Single mom din yung tita ko.
Okay.
So I accompanied them as a very good ate. And
Not a
then
tita, but
and
an
then
ate,
not a
right.
tita, ate naman. But a talent manager saw me just sitting there and said, "You know what? You can be a model.
Really?
You can
So
be a
those
talent."
stories are really true. That like all of a sudden it's like okay.
I was just really eating. And we are nasa gilid. You're
Right,
on the
right,
sides
right.
of the behind the scenes. I
Right.
was just eating, and then suddenly he approached me. "Do you want to become a talent?" I go, "What's that?" I'm like, "No, just we'll pay you. We'll pay you.
Oh,
Just
okay.
act for a short line or a short
Yeah.
scene."
VTR,
And I was
they
like,
call
"It's
it.
paid. Okay." I was
Yeah, I'm
17.
down.
I was
Okay.
17. It's like, okay.
That's awesome.
I was still in college then. So,
Right.
and then after that, that talent agent
Okay.
booked me for another commercial, then another commercial, another commercial.
Wow.
So it was all small commercials, but my biggest one would be, I think, David Salon
Yeah, so I
and,
saw you
and
in, like,
Dakasi milk tea.
Wow.
Yeah.
See?
So those days.
Hustling.
And I even went to Berlin for a hair show.
No fucking
Germany.
way.
My first
Germany.
ever out of country trip was for
West Berlin,
West
motherfucking
Berlin,
Germany.
and it was for a hair show.
Wow.
Yeah. So represent
crazy.
Philippines. Yeah,
That
that's
is
it.
amazing. So
Yeah.
from that point, okay, after college, you're already hustling.
And then
like,
I
my God.
modeled.
And then you did advertising agency.
For a year.
For a year. Okay.
And then I kind of went to like an exploration. You know, when you're young, you don't
Yeah,
know what to
you
do.
need to find yourself.
And
That's
then
what they call it.
I was getting a lot of modeling jobs as well, and I was
Okay.
kind of confused. Like, should I just continue modeling
Right.
full time and blah blah blah. So I did. I sort of did modeling for like 2 years straight.
Oh,
Even went to
wow.
Singapore and Malaysia. For
There are a lot
some-
of you're a top-notch model. People.
No, I'm not. I mean,
No, but people don't get set out if they're butt ugly. I mean, sorry, I'm not trying to like. You
maybe,
know,
but
yeah,
I
right.
think for model like industry talaga, I'm too short and I'm not that
Dude,
anorexic thin.
You are
right?
short. I
But
look like a midget beside you. What the hell? Like, that's
I
why I
mean,
don't.
model
There's two people I
standards.
avoid in the startup industry, especially women like you, you and Natasha. Whenever we're taking this, like, I'm not gonna
Because you're too
stand
tall.
beside. Like, oh, look.
Yeah.
Look,
Natasha was a model too.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm not gonna sit beside you guys or stand beside you. Like, I want to be far right, far left, but not between those girls. Especially in between, I look like an idiot. Anyway, so
yeah.
here's the thing. Question about this, Abby. So you were technically, for lack of better terms, you were trying to find yourself, right?
Yes.
So, but during the advertising agency, was there a paradigm shift of how you like, all right, was there a big realization of like, all right, I don't want to work for someone, or if you're gonna work for someone, you want to get into something that would actually add on to what you want to do long term?
As far as I remember, when I was working for that agency, it was really, I don't know if you've heard about this, but ad agency people are really like either masochistic or they're just
Yeah.
martyrs.
Yeah.
Because you have to really go overtime, and I
Yeah.
really admire people who stay in advertising for long.
It's no joke.
Because it's no joke. You have to be, you have to be always on for your clients.
Yeah, and you're
Even,
creative. You're always you
you're
have your
thinking creative
shit, right?
things,
Yeah.
and you cannot sleep until the work is done.
True.
Because sometimes the
deadlines are tight.
The deadlines are so tight.
Expectations are not realistic.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, so it was really cutthroat, and I was like, I don't think I can survive in this at this age, and I want to have fun. So I did choose the more fun route. So I went modeling, and then but after that, after 2 years of juggling modeling, going to BTRs, auditions and stuff, it's also a cutthroat environment because at that time, 2015, all the foreign models started coming in to Philippines. I don't know if you've noticed, but so many Filipino models actually like lost jobs, because they preferred the Caucasians, they preferred the Russians, they preferred the Brazilians. So so it was also really sad for the Filipino models, which you can see now in the US. Mga kasabay ko before.
The Kelsey Merritt of the world.
Not Kelsey Merritt, but like more of like sila...
Janine?
No, like Abbie Victorino, for example, Ja Flores. They're all in New York now. And
Shoot.
Either beauty queens, either beauty queens sila or
yeah.
like really international, and I'm really happy for them. So, but then for me, since I was not that tall and I was not that thin, so I was like, maybe I should look for another job already. Maybe back in advertising. So another accident was, so I applied for advertising companies, and I accidentally applied to an e-commerce company.
Which is?
Cash Pinoy.
Cash Pinoy. Shout out Frederick Levy.
Fred Levy, my previous boss, my dad.
Oh, okay. So that was really your first foray into e-commerce.
And
I remember Fred. He's like one of the earliest dudes out there. Also, a little background. Yeah. Fred is sort of my first job after college. I did the nightlife thing, right?
Yeah.
And that didn't work. I stopped that for a year because I felt like there was something missing in me. I knew how to talk, but I didn't know how to close.
Yeah.
It's like there's some like, you always like, you're so good at it, but you never got the girl. Something like that, So I joined Groupon.
Okay.
For 1 year, and I was one of those founding members there and whatnot. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did Groupon for a good year. My longest employment ever was 11 months. But oh my God, what I learned in Groupon is stuff that I still use now, and the stuff that I teach my team.
Yes.
Because everybody in that team in Groupon, if you look at us now, we're all either owners of our company or country managers of just like that is like an all-star team ever.
True.
But and again, group buying opened my eyes to how strong and how feasible e-commerce and stuff here in the Philippines.
Definitely.
Was. Okay, now let's take a quick break, Abbie, and let's talk about your journey and how Cash Pinoy opened your eyes into the world of e-commerce. More of that after the break. Hey, do you guys like what you're hearing so far? If you do, please don't forget to show us some love and subscribe to Hustleshare on your favorite podcast app. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all the other major podcast apps. Also, if you want to get in touch with us and suggest the next hustlers you want to hear in the show, please do message us on our chatbot on Messenger. Just search Hustleshare or go to m.me/Hustleshare, powered by Chatbot PH. And lastly, if you want to know more about the details and resources we discussed during each episode, please go to our show notes at hustleshare.com. Cool? All right, back to the show. Welcome back from the break. We're still with Abbie Mendoza. I'll call you Mendoza because it's like...
Okay, fine.
Right. Okay, Abbie Victorino. All right, sure. All right. So, Abbie, before the break, you mentioned about your journey into accidentally joining an e-commerce company, which is Cash Pinoy, one of the top group buying sites in the country back in the days. Like, I'm scared all the time before. It's like, oh, fuck, there's someone from Cash here. Because I cannot offer the type of stuff you guys can give. Right?
Yeah.
And then we all know what happened after that. But how was your journey, or how was your experience going to e-commerce, and what did that give you, or what did you learn from that?
Yeah, so for Cash Pinoy, my role was really a fashion buyer.
Buyer.
On the job ad, it was like business ads. So I thought it was like an account executive role for an ad marketing agency. It's like, okay, but when I went to like 3 different interviews, And I just really felt something in the atmosphere in the Cash
Right.
Cash Winner office. And I felt like this is
You
this is
belong
something
there.
else. Like this is new. And then I didn't know back startups weren't really
Yep.
like a key term then.
That only started here in
right?
the Philippines or Manila around 2012. We were
Yeah.
very few. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
But then I fell in love with it. We started in the fashion category
Right.
alone. We started like 3 million sales when I came in. And then after 5 months, it grew to like 15
Oh,
million.
what does a fashion buyer do? Just to shed light for
Okay.
those people.
So it's very similar to what I still do. So basically, we source brands from everywhere.
Okay.
They gave us a selection of a lot of SKUs.
Okay.
And for me, my role is to select which I think would sell in the Philippine
Okay.
market. So that's what I did. Imagine browsing through 8,000 SKUs per day and just choosing 100.
Shit.
Out of just pictures and pricing and stuff. There's a lot of course.
So you
elements to
curate
it.
all of these
So I
things,
curate
right?
these things. But way before, way back,
Okay.
I wasn't really style unique. I didn't know I was gonna end up, curating,
No, and then
curating
yeah.
boxes for individuals. But yeah, so
Right.
that's what I did. It was for masses, like shopping for everyone else.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, but in this role, you're doing like picking up the best ones that you can see out of the
and
pile.
negotiating deals, of course, because it's a
Of
group
course,
buying
right. And-
site. So it
yep.
has to be like a very good discount that makes sense in a
Okay.
time.
How long did you stay in Cash Cash?
I stayed there for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I got pirated by Zalora.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It was again another mammoth.
Yes.
Which
and
now
it was a bigger
specializes.
one, but it's specializing in fashion.
Okay. Now
So-
with Cash Cash, before we go to Zalora, what were the main things, or what did that give you from that experience?
Oh my
Like,
God, a lot. I learned a lot from Fred,
Okay.
from the team. So
Okay.
we were, because it's a product team, right? But there was no manual at all. That was the first time
Figure
that
it out.
you have to figure it out.
Right.
Like, you want to do something, you want to reach your sales, figure it out. And
Right.
then it's everything's new. It's online.
Yep.
It's discount. It's a very fast-paced
Sure.
environment because you have to have a time limit and there's a lot of competition, like
True.
Groupon, like Metro
Hey, by the time
Deal.
you were there, I already left. I was doing
Yeah,
guest list, so,
it's really a tough competition, and of course it's very challenging because there's lack of trust. Back then, Filipinos weren't
They
really
had a
used
bad
to-
rep. It had a very bad rep
there's
at that point.
yeah, one wrong thing is gonna really
Yeah. I remember all the hate shit that these people got
a lot.
through.
One complaint can lead to a massive Facebook or
But with that, that's where you really fell in love with
I fell in love with the
e-commerce.
power of e-commerce.
Okay.
Imagine, because we were doing pre-orders then. Pre-orders mean that the items are not with us.
Right.
So meaning we only have photos
Yes.
or a sample that was taken that has photos,
Right.
and that could lead to millions of sales.
Nice.
It's just a photo and some good captions,
Right.
like a really good, description of the
Correct.
stuff and a
The
good
fine
deal.
print also. Yeah.
And
the
the
copy.
delivery copy and the delivery promise, the pricing,
True.
the discounts, and it could really make your merchants millionaires.
True.
And I fell in love with the purpose of also helping these sellers,
Yeah.
these brands. Yeah, so
That's great. So now, since you're like one of the top girls or girl boss already in Cash Cash, you were pirated by Zalora, which again, this is like going to the next level, right? My goodness, Zalora. And in Zalora, what did you do?
So Zalora, I believe the purpose was really to start their international fashion buying as well.
Wow.
But I'm not sure if I really can say this, but anyway, so we all know Zalora is regional. It's a big
Yep, Rocket
company,
Internet.
Rocket Internet, right?
So
but,
Groupon, FYI, is also a rocket company.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. So we're like sister companies
Okay.
before. So it's the same dudes
Yeah,
as well
so
that fund that.
Yeah, so basically I did, because they weren't buying from international brands back then. But I was doing that already for Cash Cash Pinoy.
Okay.
So basically I helped them, create the process and how to get, how to source brands from outside the country. But then it got cut short because the regional didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
So they wanted, and I think the purpose also was to, or maybe they pivoted to focusing on local brands.
They
or
have
local
so many
buyers.
SKUs. Or
Yeah.
again, China also.
So, yeah.
China is the main catalyst to this whole thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, China's a mixed bag, right? Because China, with what Alibaba was able to do, which again we'll talk about later, because
Yes.
you went head to head with the founder of Alibaba, Jack Ma.
Yes,
So we'll
yes.
talk about that later on through your journey. But so Zalora, what did you learn from that experience, and then how long did you stay in Zalora?
Zalora, so working for a bigger company was
Right.
really. I kind of felt that when you're when you're from a startup like Cash Cash Pinoy,
Yeah.
and you grow bigger like Zalora,
Yep.
you kind of have to strengthen the culture,
Yep.
and you also have to, especially when you have a lot of money. I
Yep.
think you also have to I learned that there's a lot of things that you can do with the money, but
Yeah.
also there's a lot of things
You can
that
fuck up
you
with.
can fuck up with when you have a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So that taught me a lot on, maybe how to use marketing funds wisely.
True.
And how to also protect a culture.
Very true.
No matter how big you get.
Yeah.
So I didn't stay in Zalora for a long time. I got pirated again. By Voyager Innovations. So I jumped to Voyager's eCommerce.
Voyager.
Yeah,
There
so
you
it's
go.
under PLDT Smart.
Shout out Dindo. What up?
Yeah, hi Dito.
Right.
My boss there was Mitch Padua,
Mitch, right,
Joel
right.
Cordova. So yeah, and then so I moved to Voyager Innovation, but I stayed there for the longest time actually. My longest employment was
Wow.
with Voyager. I worked there for 2 years and 8 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then what I love about Voyager is that they don't. I know so many startup founders that come from Voyager.
Yes, a lot.
Because they don't prevent you from
Exactly.
getting your thing going.
Yeah.
Right. And through Voyager, now you're a black belt by then when you go to Voyager, right?
Yeah.
You've done Cash, you've done Zalora, now you're Voyager. In Voyager, what was your role?
My role then was an e-commerce solution specialist. So it's also we're focused on enterprises or traditional big companies like Philippine Airlines, Avon, etc. So the big companies who wants to go e-commerce or digital but don't know how yet.
So you're that
these are
enabler,
yeah,
right? Okay.
the ones that we help. Sun Life, insurance.
Nice.
So those are my clients back then.
Awesome.
But of course, it's very how to say, it veered away from my fashion, fashion dreams.
But still e-commerce.
But still e-commerce, and I like it because I want to see what impact e-commerce can still do for bigger companies.
Now, Abbie, was this the time where Style Genie was born?
Yes.
Okay, then how did that happen?
So when I was working for Voyager, I kind of missed fashion.
Okay.
So I wanted to do something fashion, but I don't want to start another online, a mini online brand of my own or another online marketplace because I don't want to compete with Zalora. I love those guys.
Yeah.
So I said, what can I do that would create value in terms of fashion, in terms of the online shoppers for clothes, because I still want to work with clothes and accessories. And then, so I just floated the idea for a while. And then one lucky, one lunch, I was eating a diet delivery meal.
Wow.
Those diet delivery plans that they deliver
I
every
know,
morning?
but I never ordered.
So I was
I love
subscribed
my
to
food, yo.
Diet Diva. Hi, Diet Diva.
Diet Diva.
Sponsor niya naman ako, joke.
There you are. Abby needs some Diet Diva stuff.
I need it again. So anyway, so I was subscribed to that, and I was eating lunch, and I was thinking, hey, one of the two main problems every day is solved now, because my two problems every day is knowing what to eat, where to buy food, because you're busy with Voyager life, right?
Yep.
And then the second problem is, what am I gonna wear? So I was like, okay, the first one is solved. And I was thinking, why isn't there any subscription for clothes?
Okay.
And then that's it, the light bulb moment.
Eureka.
Hey, I know the brands, I know the stylists because I used to model, and I know the logistics guys and e-commerce guys.
Yeah. So you had it all in
payments,
your palm. You just literally
Like,
just like it's there.
I just,
Yeah.
I just drew it. I just wrote it down. I worked on it I made an ugly 5-slide deck
Okay. It's fine.
just to
Everybody,
explain, just to, organize my
Gather
thoughts.
your thoughts
Yes.
and put it there, right?
And then I pitched it to my closest friends.
Okay.
All of them are girls. And
Girl power.
luckily,
Right.
like 4 of them, their eyes sparkled and said, "You know what? This is
Let's
a real
go."
problem.
Right.
This is real.
Yeah.
Like, I know a couple of people who shouts, I have nothing to wear every morning.
Yeah.
So, like, why not? So that's
You have
it.
nothing to wear, but if you look at the closet, it's full.
Yeah, it's full.
Yeah. Yeah. I get
Exactly,
it. Right.
exactly.
Okay, so now how did you create now? You're into this, you had a 5-slide deck.
Yeah.
What was your MVP? And how did you decide, all right, I should jump in?
MVP was a WordPress site.
Okay.
My friend who does freelance web design helped
Okay.
me. So it was a WordPress site, and we launched it just for a pre-order because I know, and this is what I learned from Cash Cash Pinoy.
Right.
It's like, no, why not just
We don't
gather a
need
few
the
orders?
SEO,
Let's see if we
yeah.
get like the first 100 or first even 20. I'll be happy if
Okay.
20 strangers order it.
True.
Because it validates it, right? But so we launched it August 1, 2016. And by August 16, because we had a cut. No, by August 20, we already have 60 orders.
Wow.
And
Holy
none
shit.
of those are my friends.
Oh, how did you get that? Like, that's
Okay,
a hustle, and it's
that's-
getting early adapters in startups
Early
is probably the hardest thing you can ever do.
Yes.
Because majority of the time, I like I mentioned in the other episode with Joseph, like the first ones that are always gonna go through the lowest hanging fruit would be friends, fools, and family.
Yes.
Right. But random customers that
Yeah.
really like your shit is very
Like
different.
related
And I know the feeling of how much joy it can be. Like, holy shit, I got
Yes,
real
I can
customers.
still remember my first customer.
Right. Okay. So from that point, and you got to 60. How did you get them? Like,
Okay, so the real hustle before launching on August 1st, 2016, we had one major shoot, but it was also like, of course, bootstrapped because we didn't have a lot of budget. So I just talked to my previous my friends from the modeling
Right.
industry. I said, hey, I need a video, and my friends from Zalora, hey, can you help me with the production and stuff? So we produced a video. And it was
Nice.
all
Fire
about
festival
explaining.
stuff.
Yeah. No. Like, no, more of explaining about the problem, the dilemma of, thinking
Right.
about what to wear.
Right.
And yeah, we just had one product then.
Nice.
And the delivery was like, so imagine you order August 1 to 30, but your delivery is September 15. So it was a really long wait, but people were willing to pay for it.
Right.
And I was just so happy because they related to the video and there was an action.
now, how did that happen? Now, you have customers, and you have a real customer when they're not just signing up.
Yeah.
They're literally throwing their money on the
Yeah.
screen, like, boom,
Yes.
get my money, get my money. There.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what it is. So when you get that, and then now you have to deliver
Yes.
the promise. Were there challenges from how you thought it would work and how now it became a reality?
Of course. So back then, I only have 2 people working with me.
Okay.
But majority was still just me. I
And
did the
they're all part-time.
boxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My partners weren't full-time. They had their full-time jobs, but
Okay.
they invested money
Okay.
to help me.
Okay.
We started with like, how much is that? I think 150K.
Oh,
That's
not
it.
bad. Yeah, yeah.
So it was all on the video and the boxes because
Yep.
we had a really cute style box.
Yep.
So yeah, and I can remember I was still, carrying bulk of boxes here and
Shit,
there,
yeah.
and I was literally I was personally buying the items because back then we don't have brands working with us because
Right.
they don't know who we are, they don't know what to do.
You had
so
to
we
source
literally shop
everything,
for
yeah.
clothes in stores.
Wow.
We read each profile, we shop for them, and then we
Nice.
package it neatly in a box and then deliver it.
That is amazing. Now, Abbie, let's take another quick
Okay.
break. And then after the break, we'll be discussing from now you're doing this like part-time or part because you're
Yes,
or
sideline and with
sideline.
Voyager.
And now you took the whole fucking leap
Yeah.
and jumped to the valley of death where people either make it or break it. But you're doing well. So yeah, more of that after the break.
Effective automation is the best way for businesses to stay competitive. And having a chatbot for your business lets you easily automate and optimize sales, marketing, and customer service in the digital age. Chatbot PH will build, train, maintain, and market your chatbot across all messaging platforms. Our team uses the latest AI technologies to enable you to better serve customers 24/7, 365. Set a meeting with us today. Message us now at m.me/chatbotph.
And we're back from the break. We're still with Abbie Victorino. Now, see, I said it right for the last time. Anyway, Abbie, so you before the break you mentioned that when you were doing Style Genie, you were still doing it part-time because you still had a day job.
Yes.
But technically you're doing it full-time because you're doing it all majority of the time. When was the time when you said, you know what, Mitch, Dindo, I gotta do this. I'm sorry, right? But what was that moment, or what is that thing that pushed you to do this full time?
First of all, I'm very thankful to my bosses then because they were so supportive.
Yep.
And I actually attempted to resign like a couple of times, but Mitch was like, "No, you can do that. You can do it on the side. I'll help you." And then he's my first mentor actually. Him and Javi. Javi is one of the.
You know, there's one founder, there's also a female founder that's a protege of Mitch.
Oh, who's this?
Val Balase, 30 under 30.
I haven't met
Pico.
her. Oh my God. Yeah, so I was very
from Voyager
thankful.
also.
I was almost free to do whatever I want as long as I bring the contracts in.
Right.
But then sales were ramping up, and we actually got a grant from Idea Space.
Oh,
Thank you so
there
much,
go.
Idea Space. That was equity free, 500,000 pesos,
Awesome.
and the scholarship.
Yes.
It aimed.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it took a lot of time away, of course, from my day job because we had to do
that's not
kind of
joke.
like
That
a
is not
master's,
joke. Right,
kind of
right,
like a
right.
free master's in AIM, right? Asian Institute of Management. So, and then of course, 2018 January, I remember I just literally like broke down to my co-founders, like I can't do this anymore, and everyone else wasn't full time, right?
Yeah.
Someone has to go full time, and of course,
Someone has to
being
take control of the ship.
yeah, so
right.
and being, of course, the idea behind it. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I think it's time. And so they let me go finally, January 2018. So now at the time we're speaking, I'm full time for a year and 2 months.
Now let's talk about that, because coming
Taking the
from
job.
a cushion of what a job can provide
Yeah.
and going full time is totally different, motherfucker.
I miss
All right.
it.
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes I miss it.
15:30. I got
Yeah.
money. And then all of a sudden now, like the first thing, the biggest paradigm shift happens 15:30th. You worry about that date. Like, fuck, it's coming.
Yeah.
And then you look at your bank account like, oh no. I
And
don't
it's
have
not just
enough money.
you. You have employees as well.
Oh, exactly. You're the last.
You're the last. To
For
tell
a
you.
good year, when I started Chatbot, zero salary.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me
zero.
too. And shout out to everyone.
Yeah,
To all
that's a
founders who
sacrifice.
didn't take salaries
No.
yet.
Why would you do that? I
Hustle,
mean,
hustle. That's
it's
the
people
hustle.
first. Whatever, you're last.
Exactly.
And then when there's nothing there, sorry, you gotta learn how to survive.
Yeah.
So, okay, Abbie, you jump. Welcome to the real world of startup
Yes.
PH life, right? It's not easy.
Yeah.
So after Idea Space, after AIM, what happened?
So we got a lot of help from the incubators,
Okay.
and I'm so grateful to all the incubators that we have. We have Brain Sparks, we
Yep.
have Launch Garage, we
Yep.
have Kubo,
Yep.
and I told this a while back.
It's like everyone. That's
And
a lot
everyone,
of-
that's the top accelerators
Yeah.
in the country. And I tell this to everyone I meet or who asks me, like startup founders who ask me, what
Sure.
do you get from these? Is it worth
Yeah.
is it worth it to be part of these accelerators, incubators? And I always tell them, each of them can help you differently,
In a unique
and
way,
it really
right.
depends on what you need. And I think the hardest part of being a founder is knowing exactly what you need.
True.
Because there's a lot of help available, but if you don't know from
gotta go get
within
it,
what you
right,
really need,
correct.
you're not gonna get it. Or even if you know and you don't know how to ask, then
No, and that's the thing
You're not gonna
in
get it.
business. unlike in employment, right, where people would literally, especially if you're not in the top of the totem pole, right, people would have something for you to do. You're
Yeah.
someone's bitch, technically,
Yeah.
right? That shit flows downwards, right? So somehow, some way, someone will tell you what to do.
Exactly.
In business, it's a totally different dynamic because number one, the buck starts with you.
Yes.
Right? When that happens, then all right, everybody is looking at, all right, what do we do now?
Yeah.
And majority are like, I don't fucking know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But okay, let's go, whatever. And then that's the thing. And then as you mentioned about mentors, you know what they are, you know what they can provide, but you gotta dig deep and you gotta find time and get their time.
Exactly.
That's a big fucking hustle in itself.
Yes.
Because these people are not just fucking bums or whatever,
Yeah.
just sitting around.
Yeah,
They're
you have
busy
to
as
make
fuck.
time as well. And when
Correct.
you finally get the time, you have to know exactly what you need.
Exactly.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but they're a big help. Financially, though, that's another problem.
Oh, so
because
a
that's a
different
whole
ballgame.
different. We can do
Yeah.
a whole episode on
Fundraising 101, right.
Yeah, fundraising, and it's super hard, especially for Filipino founders. Even
True. True.
especially me. I don't know, but I think you've read about it. Like female founders have less chances of being invested
Really?
in.
Okay.
There's a
Shed
study
some
about
light
it.
into that because I watched a video by Sheryl Sandberg, the
Yeah.
COO of Facebook, that the same type of opportunities can be given to men and they have like an edge. And
Yeah.
this is where we're going to be talking about the girl boss movement and whatnot, right? For women, there's just odds that are not against that are against you. So if you say that there's less chances of winning or
Yeah.
less chances of
Well, just according to statistics, it's
Correct.
really less investments that are for female founders.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, but it's something because a lot of I've seen also there's something that the female founders have been able to get funded that needed to be taught out there, and I guess that's one thing you can share because you're almost there. You're
Almost there.
like we're almost
Stretch.
there. Yes.
Yeah.
So okay, now you're full time and whatnot, and you can't. There are times where you can't afford to pay your
Salary,
bills.
yeah.
How do you get by? Of course, Style Genie. Two things. Okay, let's simplify that stupid question. All right,
Yeah.
sorry. How is Style Genie doing now after Idea Space? How were you able to survive and scale? And how were you able to survive as a person? Because
Okay.
those are two different hustles.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
As a founder first, or
Yeah.
as a startup
Yeah.
first, and as a founder. So after Idea Space and of course being part of these incubators, they helped a lot, and we saved a lot.
Okay.
But admittedly, I have a lot of mistakes as well as a
Yep.
founder, and I learned. We have a favorite word, and it's part of our culture.
Okay.
We call it validated learning.
Validated learning.
So as long as you learn and you validate something, that's still good.
And
but
document
I
and
had
don't
a
make
lot
the
of
same mistake.
I have
Yeah.
a lot of expensive mistakes, and I'm still
Oh.
paying for it now, literally.
Okay.
So expensive mistakes last year, especially in terms of marketing and stuff.
Sure.
I will not go in detail about it.
Right.
But it's hard. It is really difficult to swallow that,
Yeah.
shit.
Ow.
No matter how careful you think you are,
No.
you're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
You're gonna fuck up one
And that's
way or another.
normal, to be honest. It has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do
Of
with...
course.
It comes with experience.
Experience,
And in my first foray in startup land, it's a tough pill to swallow because you live by that. However, one thing I learned is you shouldn't be defined by your mistakes.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so those things, you're paying for it now.
Yes.
Do you want to
Sa-
shed some light on what, at least in a general speaking term, or
Okay.
basically there's a formula, right? In startups, right? That your customer acquisition cost should be
Yes.
less than your customer's lifetime value. If you're spending more money to acquire a customer, for example, let's just do simple math. If
Yeah.
you spent $10 acquiring a customer that would pay you 5, you're losing $5
Yes.
already per customer. So was it something in the line of that?
Not really, because To be honest, our lifetime value is quite good.
Okay.
And our conversion rate is quite good.
Okay.
It's just a matter of allocating your budget to the wrong marketing channels.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just put
Okay.
it that way.
Okay, sounds
and
good.
and also on top of that, there's also one partner who didn't deliver.
Okay. It's just normal, right?
It's just normal, but it really affected our cash flow because coming from a lean, we're not yet funded.
Right.
We don't have, apart from Idea Space and a few angels.
Yep. I know one angel.
We
Shout
know
out
one
to you.
angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, aside from that, that's it. We haven't
Okay.
been funded. So it's literally sales.
Yeah.
Just we're surviving on sales. And if that marketing channel that you choose doesn't perform,
Ouch.
and then one logistics partner like fucks up, then
Right.
we're basically like dry.
Right.
So yeah, we have experienced months without salaries, and my team, and this goes back to having a strong culture again.
Correct.
I'm really advocating creating a really strong team culture within your startup, because without that my team would have left a long time ago.
Absolutely. Because they don't. Oh, I mean, yeah.
Who are you, right?
Right. And then and that's one thing, but for them to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it starts with me as well. So going back to your question, like how am I?
Yeah.
As a startup founder, I still strongly believe in our vision, what
Sure.
we're trying to do, and that's a big reason why we're still alive.
Yeah.
Because
That's faith.
as one of my coaches said, a startup doesn't die until the founder gives up,
Yep.
right? So until
Absolutely.
then, just carry on.
Keep going as long as you
Keep
have
going.
a pulse. Doesn't fucking
Yeah.
matter. Just keep grinding
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right. True. And I've been through both death and rebirth.
near-death experiences.
I died. We died. So that's totally different. I don't wish that on
Yeah.
anyone. But at the end of the day, again, those mini failures.
Mini failures,
Yeah.
but those are validated learning.
True.
So
And that actually makes you better. That sets
makes you
up.
stronger.
That's you
So
up.
much,
Now,
so much stronger.
on a personal, 1 year of not fucking getting any money can make you butt ass broke. And I experienced that. I remember being like, asking my mom, I was so embarrassed. Like I was 25-year-old. Asking, Mom, I need money.
Yeah. Like
Right. So how did you survive?
we survived on some loans.
Okay.
Yes, and we're very bootstrapped. Like I
Okay.
don't know any company that's more bootstrapped than us, but
Yeah.
maybe I just don't know it.
Yeah.
But so at one point in time, we were actually called like Style Genie Interns Incorporated,
Wow.
because we had like at some point 16 interns.
Yeah.
Working
And they're
for us.
international interns, by the way.
And
so,
yeah, some are international. We have a partnership with Career Up, and they give us on a quarterly basis. They send foreign interns to the Philippines,
it's
and
like, woo.
they're really good.
This is United Colors of Benetton out here. Like,
Yeah,
what's up, right?
they're
Yeah.
really good. They're really awesome, and you need that some international or like outside view on
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that can add more value to that. Now, okay, Abbie, you're a big advocate of the girl boss movement, right? And so since now Style Genie is on the cusp of finally breaking through, but we can't discuss that, right? Can
Yes.
we or no?
We cannot yet.
Okay, but just watch out, CNN Philippines, starting this weekend. You'll know what I mean. But anyway, you're now into two things, right? You do the girl boss movement. Why are you so passionate about that? You always post about it, right? And then you post about stuff that motivates you. And I do that a lot before.
Yeah.
And then I realized, okay, nobody really gives a fuck, so I'll just keep that to myself. But it's a totally different perspective with the girl boss movement. And again,
Your
the love of my
queen.
queen is also a girl boss in herself. She listened to Sophia Amoruso
Yes.
and whatnot. And lately, she also founded a new startup as well, because
Wow,
her
what
startup
is it?
failed. When we got together, actually, the big thing there is that she did an e-commerce store for beach essentials.
Oh yeah, I saw
So,
that.
yeah,
The
called
one
this-
with the bazaar last.
No, that's different.
Different
That
pa
was way
yun.
back.
Okay,
That
okay.
didn't really get off the ground, but that kind of traumatized her. But now she finally broke through, and now she has this thing called OIM Naturals. I'm reading from the laptop right now because I don't want to
Yeah.
mess it up. So basically, she's selling organic stuff, still
Yeah.
for the beach stuff. So
Yes.
bronzing oil.
Oh,
you know,
interesting.
like stuff that I don't really understand, but I love her. So okay, let's do it. Bronzing oil, tanning oils, and aloe vera. So it's really good. Anyway, so Girl
should try
Boss. It's universal. It's like a fraternity, really. And
Sorority.
Yeah,
Sorority.
My bad. But
Yeah.
what is that? Like, why do you love it so much?
Okay, but just to clarify, so you cannot actually say girl boss anymore because that's trademarked by Sophia Amoroso.
Oh,
Hi,
okay.
Sophia Amoroso, I love you.
Okay.
If you're listening, I listen to your podcast as well. Anyway,
Okay.
so yeah, but I think for me it's more about like female empowerment
Right.
because not because I'm a feminist. No,
Right.
I believe in equality, but
Sure.
I just feel like girls like me are more because we're emotional. We're more emotional. Some are moms, some are like
Yep.
breadwinner, like some are single, some are, we're different from the way men are wired. Like
Yeah.
when we go through, for example, when we go through a breakup, we're so emotional about it, and it could affect the way you see things,
Yeah.
right? And let's not go farther. When we have our period,
Yep. Red days.
we have
Yep.
different moods. Can be extremes,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So, I mean, imagine going through that every month
Yeah.
while running a business.
Hormones, right?
Your hormones are up and down, and you're running a business. You're managing a team.
True.
It could affect everything.
Yeah.
One meeting and you're in a bad mood, or one meeting and when you're really like, I don't know, you feel bloated or craving,
Right.
whatever.
Sure,
It's just a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
emotions, and I feel like there's a lot of maybe a big reason as well why more female female founders get burnt out or give up easily is because they feel a lot of emotions.
True.
And for me, my advocacy is just, if you really believe in your dream,
Okay.
no matter what your gender is, you just have to carry on. You just have to keep believing it no matter what happens.
That is amazing.
So that's it. And it just so happens that the female, the female founders need it more because
No, but-
we need more like hold
Yeah.
hands together. You can do this, girl.
Yeah.
Girl.
But-
Girl.
Yeah, but in reality, the stats say it, like what you said, right? That we're getting there, and I think the Philippines is more open compared to our
Yeah.
neighbors that in terms of opportunities for women
Yes.
and whatnot. But also at the same time, there's still a lot of misogynistic stuff that's still being
Yeah.
put out there.
I mean, go to a pitch room.
Pitch room.
It's
Or
all
just read
guys.
the fucking news, and our president would say some really
Yeah,
misogynistic
yeah.
stuff. So makes me cringe a lot. But it is what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. However, that's not the end of the road. Now, Abbie, I've never actually heard about this. You have a new startup. What is this new startup? And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys do?
Curated Crates. So Curated Crates is a startup with my best friend and
Okay.
my co-founder as well in Style Genie, Steph.
Okay.
Hi Steph, love you.
Okay.
So
Shout out.
Curated
I've
Crates.
never met you, but okay, she loves you. Right. Okay.
It's more of a subscriptions platform.
Cool.
So it's a baby. We launched it late last year.
Okay.
It's basically advocating subscriptions or anything recurring. It's registered in Singapore because
Good move.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the most
registered.
important thing.
So guys, it's very
yes.
easy to register in Singapore.
And you can use Stripe.
It took us 1 hour.
Do you use Stripe?
I don't know. We went there just to sign stuff,
Dude,
but it took
when you're a
us an
Singapore
hour.
company, you can use Stripe. And Stripe is
To
what
register?
they use. No, for payment.
For payments, for payments.
So you can now charge recurring
exactly.
stuff.
So, and
Yeah.
that's important. And
Yeah.
basically, Curated Crates was born because of the frustrations of Style Genie.
Yeah.
So if you see now, Style Genie we pivoted to a more on-demand
Got it.
cash on delivery kind
Okay.
of service because not a lot of people have credit cards in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very new concept that people are not yet willing to commit
True.
on a monthly basis. But people wants to try one time and pay on cash on delivery. So that's a different story.
Yeah.
So for different brands though, we want to offer it still on a recurring basis. Like
Got it.
we have a wine delivery product. We have a we have a chocolate subscription.
Wow.
We have different kinds from all
I mean,
categories.
whoever thought that Dollar Shave Club would be acquired
Yes,
by
so
Fox
we want to build a lot of Dollar Shave Club mini businesses.
So is it similar to how like James is enabling people to create businesses, shirt businesses?
Yes,
but
but
now if you're
for us,
created-
it's curated stuff
That is
and
amazing.
it's subscription stuff.
that is
So
great.
please visit curatedcreates.com.
How do you spell that out?
Crated.
Okay.
Crates. Crates.
It has nothing to do with how Natasha always puts Q on anything.
No, but yeah, it's cute.
Cuties.
I'm sure Kubo will
Yeah.
approve. Kubo
Absolutely.
approves. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about tips in terms of how to scale businesses. Fashion. I've always the way e-commerce revolves about what, and tell me if it's true or not. But I see my queen. She always is, when she uses her phone, she's not on Facebook.
No.
Her house, her whole thing is
Yeah.
on Instagram. Why is that so?
What is on Instagram? Sorry.
Like what the whole she does her marketing on Instagram.
yeah,
She consumes content via Instagram.
Yeah.
But what is it with Instagram and fashion that just connects right away?
Well, because fashion is a visual thing, right?
Okay.
You have to see what is style, and the only way to see it is through photos.
Okay.
So, and the first thing you think about when you want to look for photos, either Pinterest or Instagram.
Absolutely.
But Philippines is more Instagram
Instagram
because of the
is the
influencers
queen.
and stuff. Celebrity,
Yeah.
you want to follow people. So, yeah. So if you want to really focus on or target customers who are visually
Correct.
you want to be visually appealing.
Right.
So you want to appeal to them through Instagram because that's where they are. So I think
Absolutely.
the tip there is that you go where your customers are. So for me, it's
Yeah.
fashion. So the people who wants to look fashionable are on Instagram.
Absolutely.
But it's a case-to-case basis. Depends on your product as well.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, now Abby, we only have not too much time, but I want to talk more. But
Sorry.
unfortunately, no, it's all good.
Okay.
But let's talk about, I guess, the last few questions is from if someone wants to go into e-commerce and they want to be able to get help. Of course, you do that as
Yep.
a profession, as a side hustle. But what would you give them in terms of advice that all right, e-commerce, why e-commerce now, and what should be the first few steps for them to jump into this very big prerequisite even now? It's not
Yeah.
even just like a trend, dude. You
No,
should be on e-commerce.
You have
or
to
you're
be
dead.
online.
Right, correct. So what would be your advice?
My advice is to really start somewhere.
Okay.
If it's just a Facebook shop or Facebook page with a shop, that's good enough.
Okay.
Or if you don't want to manage your own, there's a lot of marketplaces you could join. There's
Okay.
Curated Crates,
There
there's
you
Style
go.
Genie for fashion.
There you go.
There's of course Zara, Zalora, Shopee.
Right.
You can just start with something because if people can search for you on Google but
Okay.
cannot buy directly online from you, that's already a lost customer,
Oh.
right?
So you want
start
to
with
take care of the
somewhere.
whole funnel.
Yeah, start
Right.
with something because people now really search for something, compare it online,
Yeah.
and then wants to buy immediately.
True.
Yeah, there's a lot of and the opportunities are just endless in e-commerce. We have customers now from Singapore and
Wow.
Malaysia and US and Dubai, and that we wouldn't market. We didn't even market to them, but since we are searchable online, then we
Yes.
got them as a customer. So imagine the opportunities that you lose when you're not online.
Correct.
Second tip would be no matter where or which channel you go through, just think of the customer experience first.
Okay.
Make sure that it's very easy for them. We call it bubble proof.
Bubble proof. Okay, so what does bubble proof?
We call it bubble proof. So just imagine that you are selling your stuff online to a
To an
5-year-old.
Yeah, or an idiot.
Or an idiot, who
Right.
doesn't know how to buy your product. So
Yeah.
you have to really explain it and make it very, very easy. Less steps, the better.
Okay, sounds good. So less complicated.
Less complicated, less steps. Yeah. So
That's
actually,
good.
that's why a lot of videos are surfacing.
Absolutely. And just like
Better to
they-
explain.
explain and just sorry for the lack of better terms, but spoon feed the fuck out of this
Spoon
shit.
feed,
right?
yes,
You're like,
exactly.
shove it up your mouth.
So yeah, but
Right.
customers first. Personalize it if you can.
Right.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So again, Abbie, before we let you go, please invite people over to how they can find you and Curated Crates and Style Genie, all your other side hustles. 'Cause you're everywhere. And then if you want to invite them over to check out this TV show that you're going to be part of very soon, yeah, please do.
Yeah, so please visit stylegenie.ph. We're on Facebook and on Instagram, Style Genie Official. Yeah, if you want to get styled by our celebrity stylist, just create your style profile and order a style box today. And of course, we have big news, and please stay tuned on CNN. It's going to be aired on March 17, Sunday, prime time. I forgot the time.
Yeah,
I
just
think
check
it's
it out.
9 p.m.
Yeah, right.
It's the final pitch, so please watch out if you're going to have a deal or not with one of the sharks of the Philippines.
There you go. I'm very excited. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Ron. I
appreciate
really had fun. And
UST
this is my
represent.
pleasure.
There you go.
UST, go to Mashins.
There you go. All right. So again, thank you for being here, Abbie, and this is your Hustleshare podcast. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.